Welcome to Light It Up, a podcast about resilient women balancing motherhood, their careers, personal lives, and all of the challenges that come along with being a superwoman. Each week, you'll be motivated to take action to lead, inspire, transform, and empower. Now, here's your host, Dr. Aginah Musherah. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Light It Up. I am your host, Dr. Aginah Musherah. I'm so excited about this episode, as I am each and every episode. I have a very special guest today, Nicole Moore, who is a fitness enthusiast. She's also a first-time author. So we're going to be talking about a lot of great things to help moms in particular figure out how to balance and incorporate fitness into their lifestyle. And then we are going to talk about her brand new book, Never Question. So, welcome to Light It Up, Nicole.
Hi, hello.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad that you are here. First of all, I know we're into the month of February. We could still, I guess we don't need to say Happy New Year anymore, but it is Black History Month. Um, and I'm excited to have you on because we've kind of talked about the work that you do in terms of fitness. I know you have a blog where you give great tips for those who are interested in really exercising some self-care, incorporating self-care and incorporating fitness into their lifestyle. But I'd like for you to take a few moments just to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Oh, absolutely. My background in fitness came from a very early start. I actually played three sports in high school and earned a full scholarship to play women's basketball at Loyola University. I stayed there for 4 years and I earned my bachelor's degree in visual communications while there. So my fitness career started, like I said, very, very early. Soon after I graduated, I actually started my own graphic design company, Nicole Design Studio, and worked freelance and really dabbled in quite a few different activities. And I continue to build on that brand today as well. And so after my design company, I actually started working in the public school system. So I'm out here in the South suburbs and I've had several different positions within the school network. But my passion for just being around people and just being around others, it was, something that I started so early. So I just love being around people. I'm a people's person. I love helping moms just, get together and do what's best for them.
And I guess I should also point out to the audience that you are a mom of four and you have twins. So we do have that commonality. Your twins are what? They're about
8 months now.
8 months old.
Yes.
So that is, I'm sure, keeping you busy because your twins are the youngest, of course, of your children. So
Yes.
I guess I'll start off by asking you that. How do you balance with, as a mom of twins, I actually had my twins first. So as a new mom, even though it was almost 17 years ago, I didn't know anything else. You know what I mean? So being thrown into the thrust of being a mom of twins, I just kind of made it work. How has this been different in terms of, having older children and now having twins and trying to balance?
Oh my gosh, I really don't know where to start. And I'll tell you that because the main thing that's the difference between my older kids and the two twins now is that it's a 10-year difference. So here I am 10 years later, starting over again. And even though that's not a huge gap, it's still technology has changed in 10 years. I mean, there's so much that evolves over time, and that 10 years seems like 20. So the things I was feeding the baby, my child before, I'm not, you know what I mean? So, so
Mhm.
much has changed as far as time wise. Um, the older kids, what is helpful, what's the plus side of having older kids and then having little ones is that they're helpful. So my 10 and my 9-year-old are very helpful. I can say, hey, go grab this for your brother or sister, get me some socks, help me pick clothes out, and they know how to do those things. So I really, really appreciate that they're older and they can help me because I got like little assistants around here. So I love that.
That is definitely a plus. So let's talk about um, you mentioned that fitness has always been something that you've incorporated in your life since you were an athlete. Um, how did you, I guess let's start there. Like, what was the spark for you in terms of um, taking that journey of becoming an athlete and then keeping up that your fitness lifestyle?
So, believe it or not, I'm 6 feet tall. Well, a lot of people may not know that. So, I was really tall at a younger age. And so, I remember being in gymnastics school, and the teacher came to my mother and said, she's at the maximum height of a gymnast at 10 or 11. You probably want to get her interested in other sports because she's not going to be a gymnast. And I remember crying, like, so mad, like, what am I going to do? So I found myself liking track and cross country and then playing basketball. And I live in the Matson area my whole life, and I ended up playing for the Matson Community Center. And I was one of the only girls on the league, the public league team. And it was because there weren't enough girls playing basketball for them to have their own individual league. So I grew up and I was playing basketball fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade with all boys at the Madison Community Center and their league, and it was very competitive. And that just made me stronger. It made me tougher. I was ready for high school. I ended up playing volleyball in high school, and I did track and basketball because they're at different times of the year.
Mhm.
So it just was really something that I stuck with for 4 years. And I'm pretty sure that if I hadn't got a basketball scholarship, I would have played volleyball also in college because I really enjoyed that sport too. So my parents were very supportive. My mother played softball in high school. My father did basketball also. So it kind of ran in the family. And it just really was awesome because they were always there. When I played in the summertime for the AAU teams, my mother was a chaperone. She traveled with us. You know, she was very involved with, what I was interested in. And that is really what I appreciate. When it was time for me to choose a school, she was right there. And I had the New Mexico Lobos as the school that I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to New Mexico. I had my eyes on it, and my mother was like, "Are you going to go that far away and I can't see you for Christmas?" And I'm like, "You know what, Mom? You're right. You have been with me like through thick and thin since the beginning. I'm going to stay close." And I ended up choosing Loyola University, the Ramblers, to start my career as far as college basketball.
Yeah.
And it was just something I stuck with. After I got done with school, I was still into working out. And once I became a mom, I wanted to just encourage moms to not lose that of themselves while having kids because we do that all the time as moms. We just stop making time for things we're interested in to just help the kids, or we just don't have time at all. So I wanted to make sure I gave back to the moms and just training moms and giving them tips on how to do things with the kids or when they have just a little bit of time.
I really love, first, I love the fact that you were a well-rounded athlete. I think that's absolutely awesome that you didn't just stick to one particular sport. Um, and then as far as continuing to work out, even after becoming a mom, I will tell you that that has been a struggle for me. The off and on. Again, I can tell you, I remember saying, "Oh, I look good to have had a set of twins." And then the next
Mhm.
thing I know, it's like 16 years later, and I'm still saying that. But
Look amazing. Stop it, girl.
What tips can you give? I mean, because as mothers, you're right, we give so much to our children, or if we're married, our spouses, to everyone else, and then we come last. And, they always say, an empty cup can't pour into others. So, for those of us who either say that we don't have time, or maybe we don't know where to start in terms of fitness, what tips can you give, or where would you advise us to maybe start first? Like, would you say start small and then kind of work your way up? What advice can you give us as far as that is concerned?
Well, I absolutely agree with you. I think that one of the most common reasons that people don't stick to diets or working out is that they jump into it and they do something so just extreme that they're like, you know what, I quit. And that is the number like one thing that we do. We're like, oh, I'm gonna stop eating cookies and I'm gonna stop eating those chips that I like, and I'm gonna just eat this and this and this, and then I'm gonna work out 3 times a week, and I'm gonna get me a trainer, and we do all these things, and then like by week 2 or 3, you're like, this is terrible. So for dieting, I always say this: I think it's all about moderation. That's the key. You should not always deprive yourself of things that you enjoy, because you're not going to stick to it. Like for me, I like cookies and brownies. Are cookies and brownies good for you? No, they're not. Should you be eating them during the nighttime? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to say I'm not going to eat another cookie again. Like, no, I'm going to have that cookie, but I'm not going to have as many.
Right.
Or I'm going to find alternatives to put in the cookie and not use sugar and things like that. So that's key. The second thing is, when you're starting your workouts, I think that you should start with some type of motivation. You need like an accountability partner. And we try to go into these things by ourselves, and it's like, I don't have anybody to talk to. Nobody's struggling like I'm struggling. Nobody understands me. So you got to find you some mom groups, people that are like, hey, girl, I want to do this with you. Let's do it together. And that is really key. You got to find a circle of friends or individuals that are trying to do what you're doing, not the ones that say, girl, you look skinny already. Oh, girl, why are you trying to lose weight? You know how many times you hear that and you're like, and then you hate yourself because that's not how you see yourself,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. I'm glad.
Those are two key.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually this year I started out well, actually what I did, I used my health insurance. Something I used my health insurance in terms of all of the benefits. And maybe, for those who haven't like taken a closer look at their insurance plans, I switched over and I saw that I had an option where I can meet with a dietitian, and it was included, like I'm paying for this. And so I started to do that and taking baby steps, because I know what my problem is. I think I don't eat enough in terms of like protein, and I know you need to have plenty of protein. And so what I've realized is that while I think, not eating certain times of the day that I'm helping, I'm actually not, because my body is holding on to the fat and storing it. And so I learned that after talking to a dietitian. Um, and then I did I have two friends, we check in once a week. And that has been
Good.
helpful because you're right. Like if you have accountability partners, not that you want to feel guilty about not working out or not doing the right things, but when you know that you're accountable to someone else and you have to kind of report back, you
Mhm.
may feel like, okay, I've got to do this because this other person is depending on me also.
Absolutely, absolutely. And set a goal. And that way you're reaching small goals over time. You're like, not something extreme, like I want to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year. Like that's a big goal. So
Mhm.
start small, like 2 pounds, five here, things like that. And I tell people all the time, this is really key. That scale will have you so upset. The scale not about what it matters, because there are so many people that you see that are 200 pounds, but they don't look 200 pounds. It's all about the inches. So if you're losing inches, but you still weigh the same, you cannot be upset at yourself like this is not working. Do your pants feel lighter? Does that shirt that you always wear feel looser? Those are different things that you can look forward to over time, instead of always looking at the scale if the scale is not moving. Because we all hit our plateaus. Like, I am not losing weight, but my shirt feels loose. You're
Mhm.
doing something, something's working for you.
Great tips. Because the scale was not my friend. It is not my friend. And so I've learned not to get on that scale. I used to get on the scale every week on a Monday of all things, which is absolutely insane because over the weekend, you've probably eaten all sorts of,
Yes.
things. It's like, why am I getting on the scale on a Monday and expecting to see a different result?
Yes, absolutely.
So I know that when you were pregnant with the Moore twins, bring more to your day. I just love that hashtag that you guys use.
Thank you.
You were still working out. Why was that important? And where did you find the energy and the time to continue? Is it because you just never really stopped working out? Can you talk about that as well?
Oh yeah. Yes, you're right. So first, I never really stopped working out, and it's so much a part of me. I said to myself, I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't do something. Like, and the doctor had initially told me, you don't need to be doing anything at all. Like for the first trimester, he was like, nothing at all. You just need to just chill out. It's not like you're like out of shape that you need to be doing something. You just need to relax. So once I hit that first trimester, I was like, okay, now I'm ready. And I was still doing light things like step aerobics and light cardio. I enjoyed walking. I didn't want to run or anything like that to injure myself, but I did want to still do something. And that was just so important to me because I wanted to have a healthy pregnancy. And that involves light exercise. And if your doctor says it, that's okay to do. If you don't have any other underlying issues, you absolutely should walk or just do something. And for me, I just needed it. Like, I needed to just get my blood flowing, and I always get lots of ideas just being outside, and that's what I enjoy doing. So I just had to continue it despite having two babies growing inside my belly.
Yeah. And with COVID also, many of us have not, although the gyms have been open, right? But many of us may not feel comfortable with it re-entering the gym. What can we do at home to still either to start working out or to just make sure that we're getting some type of movement? Because I mean, it's almost been a year at this point
Mhm.
that the world has, shut down, slowly opened up, but still obviously not back to normal. What can we do at home just to kind of keep in shape?
So I've grabbed, believe it or not, when COVID started, all the dumbbells and weights sold out.
Yes. I've still
If
been
you
trying to get some.
Yes, if you tried to order some at that time, either they were like 10-pound weights were like $60, $70. They were sold out everywhere because people were like, I gotta do something at home. So I had some initially before COVID started. So I'm like, okay, good.
Mhm.
I have 10-pound weights, and I think I have like a set of 5 or 7. And there's so many different at-home workouts that you can do with the little things that you have. I have some resistance bands. I think those are things that you need. Um, there's all kinds of different exercises that you can do at home. Body weight stuff, that stuff using your own body weight. You can do so many exercises using your body weight only. There's tons of YouTube videos with people doing different exercises with minimum things. So those two items, I really think if you want to do stuff at home, you should get some resistance bands, or you should have some type of dumbbells or some type of weights if you can find them now. um, I'm all about push-ups. I'm all about planks. So those do not involve going to the gym.
Mhm.
So being at home, I've been able to do that. I don't even have a treadmill at home, but you can march in place. You can do jumping jacks. You can do modified jumping jacks. And those are still light cardio things that you can do if you don't have a treadmill or an elliptical. There's just tons of stuff. So if you're trying to get started and you're not comfortable going to the gym, because I'm that person,
Mhm.
I think I've been to the gym maybe once or twice over this whole
Mhm.
pandemic. And I said to myself, my mind needs exercise to be able to cope with my family and to be able to function daily.
Mhm.
I have to do some type of exercise. And so definitely doing stuff at home was my thing. I'm all about doing things at home with everything going on, because you don't want to go home, go to the gym trying to do something and you're bringing something back to your family.
Right.
So you really have to be careful. And you're not a person that's going to go into that gym. You need to look online and try to order some things to do at home.
Yeah, one of the things that I did was I made sure that I took a walk every day. I started out my mornings going for a walk, well, when the weather permitted. And I actually
Mhm.
got a walk in the other day because it was actually warm outside. And one of
Mhm.
those days when it was warm this week. And I felt so good because I realized I missed that. So my exercise, I love to walk. I'll try to run a little bit, but walking is my jam. That's what I do. Um, but I also try to start my day with morning meditation, guided meditation. And I use the Calm app, but I've also started using Fit On and I stream it to my television. And that's one of the ways that I try to start my day because I feel like I need that just to get going because I've been on lockdown with 3 teenagers. So I'm like, I need just to be able to have my mind at ease just to start my work day. But I think sometimes we feel like you have to be in a gym using equipment to make to show that the workout counts. I know that used to be my mindset. How do you get out of that mindset of thinking that you need gym equipment, for it to be a really good workout?
And you're so right about that. That's what we always do. We're saying, like, oh, I got to get into the gym. I have to get into the gym. But I'm telling you, COVID has made you think outside of the box as far as what you can and can't do and how to get the results that you want. And another thing, besides working out, you got to make sure that you're eating right. Like if you're not getting the 30 minutes of exercise daily like you should be, you need to make sure that you're constantly paying attention to the things that you're eating, the stuff that you're snacking on, because you can be like, you can't outwork a bad diet. We talk about that all the time. So when you're not able to get into the gym or you're not able to work out at home, you should be trying to watch what you're eating or just make better choices. Instead of the chips, grab an apple or get an apple and dip it in some peanut butter or something, make it creative because we're not going to stick to the fruits and vegetables. That's not us.
Yeah.
So if you're not used to doing that, don't try to do it now. Just make better decisions. And you don't have to use those weight equipments. Get that stuff at home and get some Pilates in your life. People don't know yoga. I have a good friend.
Mhm.
She did yoga. She does nothing but yoga. She has lost so much weight. Now, granted, she is doing hot yoga, but
Mhm.
just the fact that you're doing flexibility exercises, you're burning calories. So remember that. It's not about the weight equipment. It's not about going to the gym. Yoga, Pilates is your friend.
That is a very good suggestion because I actually started yoga as well. So having those
Yeah.
exercises for me, I couldn't really get into the online. Well, I wasn't streaming the exercises initially. So I've just really kind of come into that point where now I'm streaming the exercises because I had to realize what I need. Like I personally need some human interaction and to be motivated. And because with work, I'm on the laptop with Zoom all day, every day. I didn't want to do another Zoom workout. But
Right.
so that was I just had to shift my thinking as well. So I now I'm getting into the groove of things. And I
Yeah.
really want the listeners to know, like, you don't have to overthink this. You can start small, start slow, and just gradually work your way up. But you definitely have to eat right. So that is
Mhm.
something that, because it's counterproductive if you're not eating right and exercising, you won't see any results.
Absolutely. And set goals. Because we know that just in our general life, in career goals, you're not setting goals, you're not working toward anything. So you can say all day, oh, I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to work out more. But if you're not setting a goal and you don't have a deadline for that goal, it's not likely that you're going to be accomplishing that.
Mm.
And we know that from personal and professional life, you have to set goals and either you're writing it down or you're telling someone, and that is so important to have a goal, to set something.
Absolutely. And speaking of goals, this is I'm let's talk about your new book, Never Question. You released this book very recently. It's was it towards the end of 2020, I believe, that you released
Yes,
your
it
book.
was.
So why don't you tell us what is the goal? What's the purpose of the book? What's the book about? I know it's about the Moore twins. And it's a
Mhm.
children's book. So first of all, I want to congratulate you on releasing your book. I think it's so exciting um, that you're now a published author. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Never Question and what made you decide to write this book dedicated to your babies?
Absolutely. So I started the book. I initially wrote it while I was pregnant. I was just in the moment and I was at home and I was just working on my computer and I just wanted to, I was in tears writing it because the twins are rainbow twins. And a lot of people don't know what a rainbow baby is or a rainbow twin, but a rainbow baby is a child born after having a miscarriage. And so they're rainbows because there's a storm and there's a storm going on, and then a rainbow comes and it appears and it brings hope. So the twins are rainbow babies for me. I had suffered several miscarriages before having them, and it really took a toll on me mentally because, as we talked about health and fitness, I'm a pretty healthy person, and I could not understand why I was not being able to hold babies. And it was very challenging. So, in writing this book, it meant so much to me. And I wanted the twins to just know how much I wanted them, how much I loved them, and to never question themselves. I wanted them to just know how much mommy just, prayed for them. And
Mhm.
so that was the motivation behind the book. And I saw myself doing it, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish it. And we're talking about goals. And
Mhm.
it was getting to the end of the pregnancy, and I hadn't did anything with it.
Mhm.
I'm working remotely from home, but I have time. So why am I not finishing this? So then I really put a fire underneath my butt and I said, you know what? I'm going to get the illustrator. I'm going to draw my images. I'm going to send it to the illustrator, and I'm going to set a deadline for this. And it just so happened that the deadline was December. So I'm finishing up the book, and I said to myself, okay, I'm ready. But then I felt myself a little pushback saying, but you can't mail this out. It's a pandemic and you can't do this. And you're trying to raise twins and they're still young. And how are you gonna promote the book? And I said, I got to keep going. And
Mhm.
I remember having a conversation with my husband, telling him, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should. And he was like, Nick, you got to do it. And
Mhm.
so he pushed me, and we released the book, and I've got great feedback on it. I even started working on something new already,
Oh.
because my older kids, they're like, well, what about us? And
Wow.
so I'm like, I'm trying to get them to understand that everything is not always about them, that sometimes you got brothers and sisters. I got to share my love with everyone.
Mhm.
And just so happened, the first book was just about the twins because it was a struggle to even get them here. I
Yeah.
mean, I delivered right after George Floyd had passed away, and they were looting all around the hospital.
Oh, wow.
The doctor was about 2 hours late to deliver because it was so many barricades to get to the hospital. He had to find alternatives to get there. So we were sitting there waiting for 2 hours for him to get there because everything had got blocked off.
Mm.
So it was just a crazy time. I'll be able to tell them just about how they were, how I loved them and how I just wanted them, and then how they even arrived here in the middle of chaos.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's my spiel, and never question it. Just, it matters so much to me because I just want moms to be able to relate to their own children, just how much we really love them, because our kids, it's hard for them to see it. But as they grow older, they realize how much they are loved.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, th there was something that you said, it reminds me of, my own journey of becoming a mom because, it was a struggle for me as well, and I was on bed rest for 3 months because I delivered the twins, early, but I remember, first of all, praying for them. So that I think that was what resonated for me. I prayed for these babies, and I actually was pregnant with triplets and I lost one. And I just remember when I went into preterm labor at 5 months, like I didn't realize I was in labor. I was having back labor and didn't know what it was because I had never been pregnant before. And at 5 months, I was the size of someone who was actually 8.5 months pregnant. So I was pretty huge, and I'm short. I'm only 4'11", and my ex-husband is 6 feet tall. So, but I just remember just praying, like, if you just let me keep them, there is absolutely nothing that I won't do for them. And so, it just reminds me a mother's love is something. We will give our last for our children. Um, so that in and of itself, just, going through that journey, that struggle of trying to bring life in the world, and your babies were, like you said, born in the midst of just chaos because 2020 was just an absolutely chaotic, and painful year for so many, but to bring life, which is joy, I think is just absolutely wonderful. So I'm glad that you decided to write write the book. Where can people get the book if they're interested in ordering Never Question?
Absolutely. So you can order the book directly on my personal website, which is www.nicolemarymore.com. It is my blog, but it is also a website. And right underneath shop, you'll find the hardcover Never Question. But it's also available on Kindle. So those of you that have tablets and like to read online, you also can buy the virtual book on Kindle, and that is also available directly on my website.
Perfect. So I can't wait for you to share with us the next project that you have coming along. I'm sure it's going to be just as exciting. Is there anything that you, in closing, anything that you want to share with the audience, where you mentioned your website, but I want you to mention it again, where they can find you and check out your blog, order the book, um, and get some tips along the way?
Oh, absolutely. And my blog is for moms. It's called the Fit Mom's Guide to Me Time, Family, and Exercise. So it's definitely some great tips on there. I even have a great article for people that work in the office, that enjoy, working out, but they can't get out of their chair. And so many of us were sitting down so long. I'm like, grab some staplers, let's do some arm exercises. So there's some really fun articles on the blog. And I want to say that my next project is centered around blended families. And I say that because I have a blended family, and a lot of people don't know that. But yeah, my husband and I, we have a blended family. And I think that there's so much wrapped into blended families that it's going to be something that's really beneficial, because a lot of society, we live in blended families, and that's just the way things are sometimes. So the next project is centered around blended families. It's something fun. It's a conversation piece for the kids and for the parents, because there's lots of questions that kids have.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm excited to share that very soon.
Well, can't wait. I will definitely be on the lookout for that. I would love to have you come back when you're ready to talk about that project as well. And then maybe we could do something where we take some questions, who knows, from moms about fitness, because that is definitely an area of focus for me this year and every year thereafter. So I would love to have you come back to join me on Light It Up if you would be so inclined.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to have a lighted up meet and greets and do some walking when COVID is over. We're
That
going to be meeting. Let's do a walk or something together. That would be so fun.
that would be great because I definitely miss that. I keep saying I don't know why continue to live here in this cold weather.
I say
Because
the same thing.
yeah, I need the sunshine and I need to be able to get outside. But
Yes, that's for sure.
so one more time, please tell people where they can find you, where they can get the book. And I don't know if you want to also share your social media, if you want folks to follow you on social media as well.
Yeah, for sure. So again, my website is www.nicolemarymore.com. My blog, please subscribe to my blog. You also can purchase Never Question on the website underneath the shop option. Absolutely follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, and I would love to chat with more moms. My Instagram is Fit Mom with Curls, because usually I got curls in my hair, but I'm rocking the straight stuff right now. But Fit Mom with Curls on Instagram, and just Nicole Moore on Facebook, and you will find my beautiful face.
All right. Hey, one last thing. Show us the book.
Oh, yes. I have a copy sitting right here.
Yes.
So Never Question, and that's supposed to be me there. And I made them add some hair for my husband because he doesn't have much hair. So this is him younger.
That is such a nice cover. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to this week's episode of Light It Up. And thank you so much, Nicole Moore, for being my guest today. I really appreciate all of the insight that you have provided us as far as fitness and incorporating it into our lifestyle. And again, congratulations on your book, Never Question. And I look forward to having you on again sometime in the very near future. So, for those of you, again, who are tuning in either via Apple or Spotify, or if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and also share with me some ideas that you have for topics for upcoming episodes of Light It Up. I'd love to get your feedback, and don't forget to also leave a review as well. So until next time, remember to always continue to light it up and shine bright like a diamond. Thanks for joining me this week on Light It Up. Make sure you visit my website at www.lightituppodcast.com or www.aginahmuhammad.com. You can also find me on social media using the handle at Light It Up Podcast. If you like what you've heard, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, I'd appreciate a rating on iTunes Or you can simply tell a friend about the show. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday for a new episode. Until next time, light it up and shine bright like a diamond.